The Fellowship event has arrived. Despite the awesome rewards, the minigame can be really confusing. The goal of this video is to hopefully explain how it works as simply as possible. Let's start with breaking down what you're looking at. At the top left, you'll see two currencies. The first is feast provisions, which you only get from the minigame and are spent in the minigame to upgrade buildings and purchase new ones. The second currency is gemstones. You get these from quests and incidents, and you can use them to purchase overseers and, after finishing towns, to purchase boxes. We'll talk about that later though. At the top center, you have a lot going on. There's a tracker to see how close you are to the next grand prize, the button to take you to the grand prizes, and a display of the next items that you can win from the grand prizes for each the free and paid tiers of the grand prizes. Just below that, you can see your current 3 tasks to complete. Once you complete one, another will take its place. Think of these as mini quests that you have to do in the minigame. The arrow next to them will bring up a window showing more info about each of the tasks. At the top right corner, there's the time skip and leagues, both of which we'll discuss later. In the center of the screen is what you'll actually be doing. While I get more into the minigame later, you can click on the item picture to start productions of feast provisions, the little avatar on the side to upgrade or purchase overseers, and the button below the level tells you how many feast provisions it will cost to upgrade buildings to the next level, which will increase the building's production. Clicking this button upgrades the building. The button just below the feast provisions stock lets you upgrade buildings multiple levels at a time. It purchases as many levels as you can with your current stock of feast provisions. Lastly, there's the continue button at the bottom right. Once you've collected enough feast provisions, 1 million for the first town and 8.4 quadrillion for subsequent ones, you can end the town and then continue on to the next. Now, let's go on to the minigame itself, starting with just exactly how these buildings work. Everything on the right side of the river will allow you to produce some goods. There's no real name for this currency, so I'll just be calling it goods. You start with the Spices Emporium and can later purchase new buildings. You have to click on the building to start a production, which will then have a cooldown of a set amount of time, after which you'll have to click it yet again. That will build up goods on this side of the town. To get them to the left side of the town, you then have to use the carriage. This building's one job is to move goods from one side of the town to the other. Once again, you have to click to start the carriage moving, and then you have to keep clicking to keep it moving back and forth. To actually sell the goods to get feast provisions, you have to use the banquet. And like everything else in this minigame, you have to keep clicking to sell the goods for feast provisions. Once you get feast provisions though, you can use them to upgrade your different buildings to produce more feast provisions on the right side of the screen, upgrade your carriage to increase the goods that it can carry, or increase the amount of goods that the banquet could sell for feast provisions. Of course, you have to keep clicking everything in this event to keep your buildings producing more goods, move more goods, and keep selling more goods. Sounds annoying? Well, the good news is that you can spend gemstones to hire overseers. Overseers provide small bonuses to the buildings, but most importantly, they will essentially click everything for you. I highly recommend that you purchase the level 1 manager for each factory just so that you don't have to click every time. They have 5 levels, but they can get pretty expensive, and you should only buy levels only level 1 if a task requires it. You can save up feast provisions to purchase new buildings that then produce more goods for more feast provisions, and the cycle repeats. Eventually though, you reach a spot where the game really slows down, and you'll want to restart your town to get some rewards and start a new town. To end your town, you can pay 8.4 quadrillion feast provisions to move on, but on your first town of the event, it will be only 1 million. Once you pay this sum of feast provisions, you can then open chests, which we'll discuss in a little bit, and afterwards go on to start a new town. Okay, but all of this, and we still haven't even talked about how you get rewards. There are 3 main ways of doing so, being tasks, grand prizes, and the end of town boxes. The tasks are like little quests in the minigame. There's 38 unique ones for every town, but you don't need to complete them all. For each one that you complete, you gain progress towards the grand prizes, as well as one of a selection of small prizes. Tasks commonly ask you to upgrade buildings, produce a certain number of feast provisions, or even just purchase overseers. The grand prizes are similar to the grand prizes in normal events, the only difference being that your progress in the grand prizes comes from completing tasks. From the grand prizes, you can win Summerhold Manor upgrades, as well as some other assorted rewards like the new golden upgrades. Lastly, the end of town boxes can only be seen after, well, ending a town. Once you end a town, you get presented with 6 boxes. You can purchase the first box for free, and then each one gets progressively more expensive afterwards, up to 1,000 gemstones. After you purchase the final one, the cost of the boxes refreshes, but starts more expensive. It's usually in your best interest to only purchase at most the first 6 boxes to save your gemstones. You also have the ability to purchase the entire set of 6 boxes up front rather than individually for 1,400 gemstones versus the 1,850 gemstones it would cost to purchase the entire set individually. This is only worth it if you plan on purchasing the entire set though. Additionally, you can time travel. That's right, for a fee of some gemstones, you can jump forward up to 8 hours at a time and get all the feast provisions that you would have if you played in that amount of time. I don't recommend this though, as it costs a lot of gemstones, and you'd be better saving those gemstones for future towns. If you are running low on time, it could be worthwhile though. If you want extra help with the event, I recommend checking out my event spreadsheet, which I'll link below, that has interactive task lists that tell you exactly what you have to do to complete a town as fast as possible. That's going to be it for this video, but join my Discord if you want to discuss the event even more. Can't wait to see you there, but until I do, I guess I'll see you all next time.